Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on double falsehood, and today we get to hear from Julio in Act 3, Scene 1. Yes, we have made it to Act 3, which means things should start to get good. Not that they haven't been juicy already. I mean, we have this weird love triangle where Julio had to go away to do some business for Enriquez, and Julio is in love with Leonora, who fell in love with him as soon as he left, but Enriquez, in giving Julio's messages of love to Leonora, has fallen in love with Leonora and out of love with Violante, who he raped. Leonora's father, Don Bernard, wants her to marry Enriquez instead of Julio. She doesn't want that. She wants to marry Julio. So she wrote a letter. And yesterday, in the end of Act 2, she was looking out her window and just found a random citizen who she kind of recognized and had a nice looking face and said, "Can you take this letter to Julio?" And shocker of shockers, he does, and the letter makes it there without getting mixed up or thrown into anybody else's hands or sounding like it's going to come from anybody else, because at the top of Act 3, Scene 1, we have the citizen talking to Julio, and Julio has the letter in his hand and he's reading it, and he's very upset because in this letter, Leonora told him about Enriquez like moving in on Julio's turf and trying to get with Leonora instead. So he's very upset, and the citizen is telling him, she just reached out the window and she grabbed me. She wanted you to have this. And Julio is very angry, and the citizen is like, you just need to be patient. And Julio says, "Oh, my good friend, methinks I am too patient. Is there a treachery like in this baseness recorded anywhere? It is the deepest. None but itself can be its parallel. And from a friend professed. Friendship, why, 'tis a word forever maimed. In human nature, it was a thing the noblest, and 'mong beasts it stood not in mean place. Things of fierce nature hold amity and concordance. Such a villainy a writer could not put down in his scene without taxation of his auditory for fiction most enormous." So what he's saying is, this is the worst thing that has ever happened. Literally. He's employing hyperbole here to say that the fact that Enriquez is making a move on Leonora is the worst possible thing that has ever happened to anyone, anywhere. That's basically it. That's what he's getting at. So he's very angry. He's upset that he's betrayed by his friend. He's upset that he might lose Leonora, all this sort of thing. And he comes to the conclusion that he needs to go see her, but he can't go see her as himself because he doesn't want them, he doesn't want her and Enriquez to know that he's spying on them. So he asks the citizen if he can borrow some clothes so he can go in disguise. And the citizen's like, "Absolutely, of course, my house is right here." So they go to get Julio a disguise so that he can go back and spy on the Leonora Enriquez thing and see how bad it actually is, see for his own eyes that his friend is making a move on his woman. And that's the end of Act 3, Scene 1. So, dun dun dun, the plot thickens with the love triangle. Now we've got a disguise. Now we've got spying. Come back tomorrow for more and we figure out where it's all gonna go. See you then. Mwah.